I'm floating in the void. So I'm at my office workspace. You could probably see, if I do that, you might see a dog on the couch. But your setting is, what's this? This is like some kind of cool basement
I'm
or
in the
something.
studio here.
That's so sick. That's way better
Yeah,
than
this
mine.
is like where we did our last two records.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I'm usually, last time we spoke, I was at my home studio, but this is my little portable setup, which is not as schmancy. you know,
It works. I
it
wouldn't have
works.
known the difference if he hadn't have said anything.
Oh, really? Oh man, next time you'll be like, I don't know, man, that blur. But anyway, hey man, it's good to talk
I
to you
feel like
again.
everyone does that.
Yeah, I
Well, it's
think
good
so.
to talk to you, man.
Well, dude, of course, I got to say the new Carnifex album, Necromanteum, is out on October 6th, and I've heard it. It's brutal as fuck, and I love all the supernatural themes of the record and the idea behind the Necromanteum itself. How did the idea and concept come about for this one?
It really was kind of a reaction to the last record we did. So,
Mm,
I'm pretty sure I remember we spoke about Graveside, right? We did an interview
did.
for that. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So then you might remember that record was very inward looking, like
Mm-hmm.
kind of a personal record, a self-assessment, really like sorting through, fears and challenges and frustrations and all that. And I kind of feel like I got a lot of that out on that record. And then with the pandemic passing and getting to go back out on the road and, prospects sort of brightening for touring musicians, I had a different outlook on life, so to speak. And I didn't necessarily want to do a record that was all internal and inward focused again. One, because I just did one, but two, because I was in a much better place. So
Mm.
I didn't really, I didn't know that those themes would really relate too much to a Carnifex record. So from there, I said, okay, well, I want to do a more broad record that appeals to more people and is more outward looking. And that's when I started really kind of going through some of the supernatural themes, trying to think, well, what are some universal questions we all have? And what are some interesting topics to talk about, to, pontificate on? And then also kind of just, I think a lot of us, I don't know, I feel like the supernatural and the unknown is kind of a big question mark,
Yeah.
we don't really know,
I'm personally a big believer in the supernatural and paranormal. My viewers are going to be like, but anyway, like I am, I talk about it a fair bit, but of course, I've seen some. Let's just say I've seen some shit in my time, but have you had your own experiences? Is that something you know?
I mean, yes and no. I feel like there was a big period of time where the answer was no. Like, oddly, I worked in a mortuary for many years,
Oh wow,
and around lots of deceased individuals. Sometimes you're there essentially alone, when you're working. And through all those years, I never did have any type of supernatural experience. Since then, I have had some things that I don't have answers for. Now, whether they're supernatural, I don't know. I'm definitely like an evidence-based person. Like,
mm-hmm.
if there's evidence, no matter how crazy it might seem, if the facts are there, they're there. And I think some things it's like, well, I don't have an answer, so I don't necessarily want to assume it's supernatural, but I I don't have any other, I don't know how to explain it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I'm at with a few things.
That must have been full on working in that mortuary though. Like
It was, yeah,
it would have
definitely
been
was.
hectic, man. Yeah, wow, that's a big job.
Yeah, it was a fairly busy mortuary. We're here in Southern California, so
Mm.
a lot of people live down here. And yeah, it definitely had some interesting experiences. I've reflected on those experiences many times throughout the records. And then even my comic book series, Death Dreamer, was set in that same world, obviously
Mm.
fictionalized, but the backdrop was that experience.
Have you experienced some things on the road? You said you've seen something. You've had some experiences. Have they been when you've been touring?
One of them was, but now we're getting into a whole nother rabbit hole. I wouldn't categorize it so much as supernatural as UFO, which I know sounds insane, but I saw
Not
it.
even.
All right, so here's the story, and I haven't really shared this because, again, it's one of those things where, like, I don't know that it was aliens or whatever,
Yeah.
but I don't know what the explanation would be. So let me tell you the story. So we're driving. This was many years ago. So this is when we still toured in a van, and I was actually driving. So I'm driving. Now you probably know for bands, you play the show and then you do most of your travel during the night,
Yes.
and then you get to the next city in the morning. And so I'm driving through the night, and it's, I don't know, 2, 3 in the morning, deep into the middle of the night. And I'm in New Mexico, of all places. And as I'm driving down the highway, middle of the night, in between whatever, Austin and Albuquerque. So there's like nothing out there. It's desert, maybe some mountains here and there, but for the most part, it's just nothing. And I'm driving and I see this green light, and it goes down like to the like the level of the land, goes straight down. I see it, like, looks like maybe like a satellite type light, a pin light, and it's green. I see it go straight down to the horizon line and then just go straight back up, and then it's just gone. I have no explanation. Alien, I have no idea but it certainly was bizarre, and I can't make sense of it even all these years later. And I did see it, so I don't know what to say,
I had a similar experience, bro. Me and my friend, who was a staunch non-believer, we were standing out front of my house, but it was three of them, three lights, and one of them went that and fucked off. And he looked at me and he goes, "What the fuck was that, man?" And I was like, "I don't know, man." You saw it? He goes, "Yeah, man." And this dude is like, "No, doesn't believe in anything." And that night, he was like, I got nothing.
I'm kind of like that too. I'm kind of like, I don't believe in anything. Like, my answer is it doesn't exist unless there's some real evidence. I'm like, okay, I'll accept it. But that one, I don't know. I did see it, so I can't deny that I saw it, but I also have no explanation for it.
I love it. I love it.
Oh
man.
yeah, so yes, I've had a few things that you just don't have answers for,
and it makes for better art because you can incorporate all that stuff. It's awesome, man. I love it.
It does, yeah. I think that's also an interesting topic to discuss in itself. Questions that don't have answers. I mean, that right there is, you could do a whole record just on that,
Oh, it's endless, man. It's endless.
Yeah.
And the further things come out, the further the rabbit hole goes. They're all talking about that, and it's more questions. It's insane, dude. It's insane. I could go on about this for a long time, dude. But of course, the record. Neil's an official member now. Like last time we spoke, he was a touring member, which is cool. How was his contribution to the new record?
Well, it was awesome. Anytime you bring someone in who is not only a very skilled writer, but he's also very skilled in how to be in a band, which might seem a little weird to say, but all of the rest of us four guys, we've been in the band for, me and Sean 18 years and Corey and Fred for 17 years. So essentially we've all been there from the beginning, basically. So we have like a system, and for us, like there's no ego in the writing anymore. That all came and went. We don't argue about stuff like writing. Our goal is just write the best song we can write. However we get there, it doesn't matter. It's a Carnifex song, whether it was Sean's idea, my idea, Corey's idea. I don't care where the idea comes from. Let's just get great music, And as a musician, it takes time to get to that point. You might have some individuals that, my idea can't be changed. And it's like, well, yeah, but if it's tweaked to be better, what's the difference? You know what I mean? The best idea should win regardless of where it came from, as long as it originated within the band. And Neil, he really already knew all that stuff, you know. So he's obviously been in a number of bands already, been touring forever already. So it was very easy in that sense, as there was no learning curve, there was no adjustment, there was no get used to a new ego, or I got to prove myself, or I got to get my riffs on the record. None of that. It was just, let's just make the best songs we can, however we can.
That's a hard thing for a lot of bands, man. I've been in rooms, you've probably been to, where shit gets real heated, especially guitarists. Oh, they get real funny, eh?
I know, and I don't know. I'm not a guitarist, so I guess I can't relate 100%. But to me, what's the whole goal, right? To have the fan base love the music and to share it with their friends, right? How we get there is kind of moot, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
we want the result. How we get there the fans aren't going, well, but that was Corey's riff though. So I don't know, man. It's like, that's not a thing. That's just in your head, really.
Yeah. It's funny. Hey, it's funny. But man, I do love the cover as well. Gist. The artist.
EM Gist. That's his pen name that he writes under. Really accomplished comic book artist. And I love one thing on you. Maybe you noticed this too, is that a band will put out a cover, and then maybe you'll see 2, 3, 4, 5 bands use that artist after the one band uses it, right?
Yes.
And that, that's all well and good. That actually kind of happened to us when we put out Hell Chose Me. A lot of bands, I don't know if it was related to us, but a lot of bands afterwards use that artist, like Trivium, Death Angel, J-Fact. They all use that artist afterwards. And for better or for worse, it made us not go back to him, not because he didn't do great art, he did, but it was kind of like, well, if everybody's using the guy, like, we got to find something new now. And we had done covers with God Machine for, I guess, 3 records now. And so it was time to switch it up. And this guy, Eric, he'd never done an album cover before, even though he's done all these other comic book covers and different pieces for Marvel and whatnot. And so we just thought it'd be cool to use someone that hadn't been used. And I wanted a different vibe from what we've been doing with God Machine. And I think it captured the supernatural elements really well.
100%. I love his Star Wars stuff.
It's
like,
amazing,
oh,
right?
Man.
He's very talented, yeah.
Man, I want some of those prints, eh? I checked it out and I was like,
and that was the stuff that and like he did the Thing, he did some stuff for the Thing, and was it Moon Shadow, or who's the I can't think of it.
Moon Knight?
Moon Knight, yeah.
Yeah.
He did some Moon Knight covers that just look wicked good. And so that's we just love this style and thought he was totally original. And I think that's one thing that kind of gets overlooked a little bit now is originality. Really, it's how good can you sound like a better version of something else is kind of what's going on right now. But we're kind of old school, so we're still just like, let's find the guy that nobody's using, and that's kind of how we ended up with Eric.
Are you looking at expanding on that concept, maybe with him, or in comic or graphic novel form, like you've released your own stuff before, but with this concept?
Well, I haven't had that conversation with him. No. As far as, I think right now that the album is the concept explored. As far as where that goes, it kind of depends on the interest in the record, to be honest with you. I mean, if that record just became like the biggest thing we released, then we would probably, go back to the well, so to speak. But if it was just kind of like, yeah, good record, guys, what's next? Then probably not,
I did want to ask you about the track. Obviously, the name of the podcast is Everblack. In what we do, Everblack. Right. There is the song "Crowned in Everblack." which is that a tribute to Trevor Strnad?
It absolutely is. Yeah. Did you guys get the lyrics with the record?
I didn't get the lyrics, but I did pick up some stuff.
Okay.
And obviously because this whole thing that I do is a tribute to him, and I got to tell him that when he was, when I actually said to him, I said, "Don't sue me, but I named this after you," because he was such a good fucking human being that he changed my complete course on doing this. He was the first one that I had on here that really spoke to me and spoke to me like I was like on the level, So when I read that, I was like, I wonder if that is. So obviously, it's a beautiful tribute, man.
Yeah, it because we're writing the record, basically 8 months to a year ago now,
Yeah.
And I actually wrote those lyrics. We were on tour when we got the news. I was in Denver, and I was on stage sound checking on the Chaos and Carnage tour. So I'm on stage. I think they were checking drums. So they're going through the drums, which is always kind of long and boring. And I had my phone out, and I was on IG, and I just saw that post from Black Dahlia.
Man.
With just a black square and I'm at first I thought it was like promo for like a new release or something.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just couldn't, because we just got off tour with them in October. It was the last tour that we had done, actually, and it was like 6-week tour. So we hung out every day for 6 weeks, and it was also the first tour back from COVID. So like everybody was really like hanging out even more than normal because we had all been off, not be able to see each other for like a year and a half. So it was like this really kind of special time, and that tour did amazing. Like, pardon me, I think almost that whole tour was sold out, like almost every night. And like the New York show and the LA show, they were totally like the big shows did amazing. Yeah, insane crowd responses. Like everything was kind of going better than ever. And so to have that like extreme kind of whiplash from like, this is like the best tour we've done in years and years and years, and we're out with our friends in Black Dahlia, who at that point we'd been touring with on and off for 13 years. And then to get that news while I'm on stage, I don't know, it was just it was crushing. And yeah, it's even hard to talk about right now.
Oh man, I'm sorry for the loss of your friend. Hey,
Well, thank you for that. Yeah, and
know.
a loss of a lot of people's friends. So it's a sad day, and I think he deserved it. He deserved the tribute 100%. And so that song's for him, and those lyrics, I hope you get to read them at some point, and the fans get to read them. I think it reflects what a lot of us feel. So
it's a fucking killer tribute, dude. And vocally, it's I think he would absolutely fucking love it, man.
I believe he would. I know he'd be very self-deprecating about it.
Yeah, that's
which is his way. So
that's
just one more thing that makes him awesome.
Oh, that's it, man. Here's to Trevor, eh? Here's to Trevor. But mate, of course, with the record as well. Sorry, it's hard to bounce back. That was quite emotional, man. Thank you for thank you for sharing that, dude. Thank you.
Absolutely.
You are giving away a PlayStation 5 as well, which is fucking crazy. Like, man, do you know those things are so hard to get? Mate, have you had people messaging you going, "Look, man, I bought all the merch in your merch store. I got all the points." Look,
Some people are like, "I spent $300. I better win that thing." I'm like, yeah, I don't pick it, dude. The indie merch picks it.
Thanks for the coin, but it's off to the fates. But
yeah. I mean, I think it's a great. It works great for both parties. Like, it's cool that you could spend $10 and then the package, because it's not just the PS5, it's like a set of headphones, a second controller, and a charging station. The whole thing is like $900. That's like what we spent on it.
Hectic.
And if you buy 2 patches, which is $10, you're in. You could win. So it's kind of a cool thing where like it helps get people to hit the store,
Mm-hmm.
but then it's also a fun thing to where like we can say, hey, if you spent $20 on a shirt, that's 2 entries, and you win this PS5. It's like our way of kind of saying thanks for supporting.
Are you gonna sign it? Well, yeah.
I'll sign the box. Sure, I'll sign it. It's all boxed up. I haven't taken it out of the box. I haven't touched the packaging. It's totally like you would buy it at the store.
I'd open it up and just scribble all over.
I thought about that because at first we were like, should we get a skin for it? You get the skin on it. But then I was like, you know what? I think it's better just keep it like fresh. If they want to put a Carnifex sticker on it, they can do it. But if I was on the other side of it and I just get this like brand new, never been opened, all I did was buy a shirt and now this thing's at my doorstep, that just feels like that would be awesome. So we didn't touch it. Perfectly boxed up.
Yeah, but I mean, imagine how funny it would be if they opened it up and you guys had like scribbled all over it, like draw dicks on it and stuff like that. Just be like, oh man,
ruined.
Yeah. Carnifex. But that's just me. But you guys were here this time last year.
Yeah, you're right.
The IART boys.
Yep.
And man, I missed the Brisbane show, and it's one of my biggest regrets in this life. I couldn't be there. I was man. Everyone was like, "That was the fucking best." And I was like,
good. That whole tour was actually really awesome.
Just rub it in. Just go. It was all right.
Yeah, it was good. So last time we went was with Darkest Hour all the way back in 2010.
Yeah.
So it had been 12 years for us, which that's a long time. That's like a fan base. And
I was so keen, man. I was real bummed. So I guess that's my next question. Have you got plans to come visit us again?
Yes and no. We are planning to, but we don't have like a date locked yet.
Okay.
So I would say probably. Actually, honestly, probably the same time in 24. So probably like a year.
Man.
Because it's like for us to come, I feel like the agents, they only want like US bands to come at like a certain time. You know? Have you noticed that?
At the moment, not everyone's coming at any time. It's so random right now.
Is it? Maybe it's changing a little bit.
I don't know.
It always seemed to be like these very specific months that they wanted you to come. Yeah. And so if if you have another tour or you're doing a record or whatever, it's like, oh, we missed that one. Well, I guess it'll be that time next year, So maybe that's changing, but I would guess it'd be sometime in 24.
Okay, September. I'm going to put it down on the calendar. I'm just going to get my red marker and I'm going to on the whole thing and say this whole month is blocked out Carnifex. My wife's going to go, what is this? And I said, no, don't ask. It's just that so I could hey, she could kill me before then, but who knows, but but dude, I really hope we do get to see you then. That'd be amazing. But in the meantime, mate, we will have all the links down here to Necromanteum and on the website, brother. It's always good to hanging out with you.
Hey, so here's something that's new for me is now that I'm doing interviews, you're the first group of people I'm speaking with that have heard the album.
Yeah.
So did you like it?
Oh yeah, it's brutal. I thought I said before, I like it. I really fucking love it.
Is it decent then? Because I have not gotten this. Like the first,
really,
you're some of the first people I've talked to that have heard the record.
It's brutal, dude. I really like it, man. I thought I said that before. Sorry, I was like, I just went straight into the weird stuff.
Maybe I'm fishing a little bit just because I always wonder, put out a record, as an artist, you never know how it's going to be received,
Man, there's so much good stuff on this record. Like, I've been cranking it in the car. I've been lucky enough to have it, and I've been cranking it around the car. And
All right,
it's
I'm happy. All right.
yeah, man. And one of the other team members is actually going to be doing the review. He's like, this thing is fucking brutal. So
Sick.
it's a winner. It's a winner. So all those people out there, I really do like. And I'm not just saying that. Like, I'm not going, oh, yeah, it's a good fucking, you know, people, you're like, oh, is it only good? And I'll be like, oh, but it's a really good fucking album, man. It's probably one of my favorites of the year. And I'm not just saying that. You've done very, very well.
No, well, that means a lot to me because, you know, we brought in a new writer. We switched some things up a little bit, and you just never know, you know? So it's cool to hear that the first impressions are very positive.
It is very, very good. Very,
awesome.
very good, man.
Well,
and wait, we'll post a review and we'll tag you. You'll see all that stuff.
Okay, perfect.
It's up on the site. It's very good. But in the meantime, dude, thank you so much again. It's always cool hanging out with you.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Hey, take care of that out on the road, dude, and I'll hopefully talk to you sooner than next time. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Take me in the stuff, and I'll say what's up.